Well, this may be not to get into a theological discussion, although we have a little bit, I guess, in a certain sense, and you are a rabbi, but, what would you say, if anything, to somebody who says, okay, I can understand how it can be important for growth to be with another person, but I don't want to get remarried. I just want to be in a long-term monogamous relationship. Maybe this is a question more for those that go by the Orthodox, however you want to say it, religious Jewish faith or whatever. But is there something? I guess my question is there something to the concept of marriage in and of itself, a remarriage, as opposed to saying, I'm going to be in a monogamous relationship. We're going to move in together. We'll be common law, from your perspective, obviously.
So in Hebrew, the marriage is kedushin. It's actually holy. I think they call it
holy matrimony.
Right?
Yep.
That's a very common expression.
Yep.
I have a confession. I watched I don't even remember, more than once, a few times, the ceremony of a marriage in Britain between a prince and a
Right, Charles and Diana.
The royal wedding.
A royal wedding. And I cried. It reminded me so much of the biblical values, the values that we, the Jewish peoples, there was no such thing as marriage before, we invented it, before God told us this is what has to be done. So the vows in Judaism is really one-sided, right? The man really is going to take full responsibility to care for, feed, clothe, shelter, nurture the soul of the woman. I'm sure the woman is interested in reciprocity, but she's not there's no obligation, like contractual obligation for her to do your laundry, to cook for you, or to do many of those things. It's more like you're taking care of her, you're putting everything out, and she's willing to. So I mentioned about the marriages of these royal marriages. It's just the more the ritual part, where they're really making this commitment. In front of millions of people, right? Because these are some of the most watched things. But it just reminds me of the commitment that the husband is really taking on the wife, and that it's so holy matrimony. You're like in front of God. You're like, and everybody that that you're taking on this huge responsibility. Look, as opposed to people who don't really have a commitment. I don't want to say what I see in the secular world, because we all know what we see, right?
Well, even in the religious world these days, one could say. I've noticed in the religious world, even that there's a trend, if you will, where people are saying, we're religious in our way, and as I would say
are you saying an open marriage? Is that
not open marriage. Just to say, yes, I'm religious, but I've been through it. I've been married. I've gone through the pain of divorce, and I don't want to have that a second time around. Why should I? I can tell you how many, even being in taxi drivers here in Israel, as you know, the taxi drivers love to talk. And every one of them, religious or not, is like, don't do it again. Meet somebody, just be in a relationship. There seems to be this trend, religious or not, to say, we're going to move in together, we're going to be common law. Why do I have to put it on a piece of paper? That's the difference.
Okay, look, we're sliding into a very gray area, because even in Judaism, a common law, I don't know what that means exactly, but let's just say everyone
living together.
But it's public knowledge, they're living together. According to Jewish law, the woman would need a get to get remarried.